Hey everybody, it's Josh. We're back with another daily talks of Josh Genshin, daily dose of Josh Genshin. We're gonna have to figure out the title still. But today's small topic is going to be Collei. We talked about Tignari earlier, and now we're gonna talk about the other new character. Well, I mean, there's Dory, but the other new Dendro character to be introduced in the first patch of the 3.0 chapter. Collei, although being a 4-star, doesn't preclude her from being a quote-unquote meta character. However, looking at what her kit has to offer, at least in terms of playstyle, which is something that we're going to dive into in just a bit, it seems a little bit lackluster. So, Collei's first ability is basically just a boomerang. And one of the big problems I see with said boomerang is the hitbox. When it comes to the hitbox of certain abilities that kind of go around, the most notable I can think of right now is Xiangling's Pyronado. You have to position yourself such that the ability is going to be able to hit. Now, that wouldn't necessarily be such a problem. However, Collei's boomerang is just one boomerang versus the Pyronado, which is able to go around the character multiple times for a considerable amount of time. So for Collei and for E-skill, I'm not terribly sure how effective it's going to be unless you can position yourself such that, let's say this is the enemy, you have to position yourself here, or you have to make sure the distance is here such that it goes around and hits them. Or is it such that the hitbox, if you have your opponent right in front of you, that you're able to swing it out and then swing it back and it hits again? So that would be 2 hits. That wouldn't be that bad. But again, if they're about this distance away and I throw my boomerang, it's just going to go around the object or around the enemy. Which, in a game about just spamming large AoE abilities and such, with the exception of Yoimiya, it's going to introduce, albeit not that much skill, because how hard realistically is it to position yourself? Not terribly hard, but you know, it does require you to do so. Oh, I've maxed out resin. Okay, why don't we run some domains then? But the E skill, not being something that you can just toss in front of you and toss back, might come to bite the character in the butt a little bit in terms of the consistency. Most likely not. Most likely it'll be a nice ability that can just cover like a cone almost. If you want to consider it like a cone and just goes out one way and then just circles back this way versus like a huge circle like I'm envisioning. And then we get to the ultimate ability with Collei. And Collei's ultimate ability is basically just a smaller version of Ganyu's ult. Just a dendro version of Ganyu and Ayato's ult. Which hopefully it's able to provide some form of buff in one way or another, very much like Ayato gives attack speed through the talent and XYZ. So hopefully the ultimate ability does a little bit more than just apply dendro in a small AoE. It most likely will, and you know, hopefully the constellations will also be able to add on to the effectiveness of the ultimate. So we don't necessarily have the full picture unless you do look at leaks, then by which you already know exactly what Collei does. for right now, it seems like she's going to be a super solid character as she does have that AoE and she's able to apply dendro somewhat consistently, barring how long the boomerang timer cooldown is. Other than that, I feel that Collei, of course, is, you know, predicted to be overshadowed by characters like Hytham. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Characters like Nahida / Kusanali. And, you know, some other dendro characters down the pipeline. But the fact that we even just are able to grab a single copy as free to play, that's pretty substantial. And let's say you actually don't pull on the banner and you only get one copy. Just having characters in your back pocket has always been proven in this game to be of benefit to you. Even if you can't use the character right now, and it doesn't seem that quote-unquote meta now, Genshin and Hoyoverse always seems to have a plan ready. And for most of the characters before 2.8, we've already seen a lot of their fully realized potential. With other characters like maybe Kujosara, maybe even Toma, Sayu, to name a few, maybe even the likes of Xinyan. We have yet to see if they can match up with the characters, the 4 or 5-star characters that have been the high, quote-unquote, high performers. But this game has been said to have been planned for what, 5-6 years out? So there's going to be something for every character. More likely than not. Or possibly some reworks. Or an introduction of a new ascended system down the pipeline that might create new opportunities for characters. Obviously, that's way further down than what 3.0 and possibly even 4.0 can offer. But, again, we just need to be a little bit more patient. And not jump the gun, especially with Dendro, as I honestly have jumped the gun with Dendro just a little bit, and I had to do a little bit of a double check. Like, hey, I gotta realize that, oh, not everything that we see already is what's going to be. Right? It's like early investing. There is always potential. Oh man, I did not do any damage there. Wow. Granted, my characters are level 60 going up against level 90 characters, so you know, I'll take it. That's ult here. But to wrap up the conversation with Collei, from my quote-unquote semi-professional opinion, most likely going to be one of those overshadowed characters. She's either going to be super overshadowed and going to be basically completely useless comparative to the other dendro characters in the cast who are to be introduced in the 3.0 chapter. Or, and which would be really fun, she could turn into the new Dendro Bennett. Or the new Dendro Xiangling. Which, sure, some people might be mad at. But this is a PvE game. And there's realistically no reason not to overtune characters in the first place. With that being said, that's going to end the talk with Collei until more actual data comes out officially. We're going to have to pin this conversation here. But if you guys enjoyed these daily talks with Josh, daily Genshin talks, daily dose of Genshin, we'll figure it out. Make sure you guys like, subscribe to the channel, and comment what you guys would like for me to go over next. And with that, I believe our next topic is going to be polymorphic reactions. We'll see how that pans out. But thank you, everybody. I do appreciate your support. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Because it's going to take me a while to finish off this boss.